what I really think when it comes to this is like the greatest thing that you can mess up on in any kind of relationship is assuming. Man, don't assume anything. Don't assume anything at all, bro. That's your number one mistake. Don't assume anything. If you assume somebody else is happy, or if you assume somebody else's position, that's where you mess up first and foremost, because any assumptions that you make of that other person, that alienates them from a conversation you otherwise could have had to confirm or deny whether they felt like that or not. That's first. The second thing is that, you know, in a relationship, it the biggest thing, and everything goes back to one thing, of course, and that's the C word. The biggest thing I've ever had problems with in my life personally, right, which is communication. It's the hardest thing in the world. For me, at least. I'm going to say that for me. Am I getting better at it? No, because I don't have practice. I don't have practice, so I can't get better. But, you know, if I was to say, like, something that somebody could get better at, go get better at communication. Get better at telling somebody how you feel about this, that, and the third. Now, why I'm not gonna get better, that's besides the point. Why you gonna get better, that's why we're here right now. You feel me? So you don't end up like me. That's all. This is a warning. This is the thing though. I got plenty of these warnings when I was in a homeless shelter, laying down next to people who had smoked crack, or even just waking up, going to the bus stop right down the street from the homeless shelter. And every morning I was rolling with this person. That's what we'll call them. I love Keisha, man. I was rolling with Keisha. And every morning, without fail, for breakfast, Keisha would have a tall beer, like not like the Budweiser cans your dad drinks or my unk ass would have drank. Anyway, them tall cans, not the small can, the tall can, and then a black and mild every morning. And I would just sit there and be like, Keisha, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, damn. And Keisha would just sit there and be like, and I would look at their eyes. I see the jaundice. I see the yellowing, and I think like, wow, like, you going through all of this. You going through all of this pain, and you medicating like this. What is this doing for you, man? What is this really doing for you? That's what scared me straight. But that was from depending on medication, depending on stress relievers, because everything has side effects except for feeling whatever it is that you're supposed to feel, and talking to yourself about it, and really journaling about it and getting it out so that you understand yourself, so that you're not sitting there wondering why everything's going wrong with you, and you out here, you know, going through all this turmoil and wrapping yourself up in different things that really don't matter. The worst pain you can possibly feel in life is the pain of the realization that you were wrong, or that you had something that you could have fixed in a time that could have possibly saved your whole life or somebody else's life, and you're learning about it now, and it feels like it's too late. I'm telling you right now that what I've learned now is what I needed to learn now. Not for me, for you. If it was for me, I would have been known. I would have been able to do what I needed to do to save my relationship, my daughter, everything. But it's not for me. It's for you. That's why I'm really here. Because if I fail at everything and I don't say anything about all my different failures, then who am I? You know? I'm just another tumbleweed in the desert that we call life. You know? That's not how it's supposed to be. If you go down, and some people are healthy enough to see that, oh, you know, I don't need this, and that's cool. I respect that. That makes you one of those people that just like, yeah, like I aspire to be like you one day. But for those that can see this and be like, damn, like maybe I could save you future heartache by, seeing, okay, you know, if I am feeling a certain kind of way, I need to say something to either my partner or I need to say something about it to myself and figure this thing out. When it comes to the pain of heartbreak, bro, you have to be comfortable with that pain. You have to be comfortable with the understanding that you were wrong and that, and in this case, I'm saying you, I really mean me. So don't take this as I'm talking to you. I'm really talking to myself with you just being in the room. You feel me? Cool. Don't take this as something that you just feel like, okay, you know, I gotta dip and dodge and I gotta throw it here or throw it there or throw it away. Like, no, sit with it. Be with it. Hug it. Buy it dinner if you want to. Your pain is there so that you can realize whatever you did wrong, just like you get a scratch on your hands, you get an illness, you did something wrong for you to get that, and your body's telling you, hey, look, you need to stop doing X, Y, and Z. And as long as you stay close to that pain, stay close to it, allow it to teach you whatever lessons it's supposed to teach you, as bitter as they are, then what's going to happen eventually is you're going to become somebody that's able to not only be in uncomfortable situations, but to be able to have the joy that comes from finally getting through those uncomfortable situations. Because just like that person that was in your life or the relationship that you had, just like they left you, your pain leaves you too. But when pain leaves, it leaves behind joy. Who doesn't want that? You know? So if you are going through something right now, if you having issues with something, just know, as long as you stay close to it, it only gets smaller. It only diminishes itself because it knows how big you are in the situation. Fear, pain, any kind of negative emotions are always bigger the farther away you are from them. That's when they seem like there's just this insurmountable amount of pain, you know? When there's not. There's not. The closer you get to it, the more you realize it's just you in third grade when you was getting bullied. And it grew the more you didn't address it, the more you didn't sit down and say, you know what was this that I needed to do that I didn't do? The more you do that, the more it sits there and it grows and grows and grows. And you just sitting there like, okay, this is a problem. I need to run and find help. And 9 times out of 10, the help that you find, it won't have the answers that you're looking for. Why? Because it's not coming from you. The problem didn't start with anybody else. The biggest misconception about mental illness is that the problem is out there somewhere. The problem isn't even in here. The problem is in here. They say mental like the problem is up here. It's not, bro. The problem is in here. Emotion is real. Everything about your emotions is real. And you need to take it to that effect. But your emotions don't live up here. This is where your thoughts live. Your emotions live here. They live in your stomach. They live everywhere else but your brain. Your brain is where you can visualize things so you can see pictures. And then on the flip side of that, your brain is where you can have words just be said and you can listen to them. That's it. That's all your brain is. It's a place where thought can be produced. Everywhere else is where you start feeling emotions. And that's why you get specific diseases depending on the emotions that you had and held, because they are held in specific places around your whole entire body. Every single one of them, there's a place for it in you. So when you have so-called mental illness, it's accompanied by something else, an addiction to something, a reasoning behind something other than what it is. But it doesn't start with stuff like this. This right here is where it ends. Because when you think something like that can produce a solution for you, what you ultimately find out is that You don't get a solution. You get a problem, right? But your problems that you have when you drink, when you smoke, when you do anything like that, when you get those kind of problems that force you to think that you have to do something like that, those problems do go away. That's a lie. They told you that they don't go away. They go away. But guess what? They're replaced by other problems. When you wake up, now you have liver disease. Now you have kidney disease. Now you're sitting out at a bus stop at 6 in the morning in the cold, waiting for it to come, smoking a black and drinking a beer, throwing up with jaundice in your eyes, looking around at the world. When you become that person that depends on something else, depends on somebody else for something, when you have that addiction, no matter what it is, you create new problems. And now a new person, who is still you, by the way, has to take care of it. Regardless, you have to take care of that issue. You. Nobody else is going to take care of that issue. Nobody else is going to be able to find a way to do this, that, and the third. Nobody, man. The reason why that is because you divided yourself into separate people. One of them, the person that was going to take care of all the problems that you have from your relationships, all the problems that you have from your childhood, from your failed job, from this, from that, from the third, that person got dissolved as soon as the person who started picking up the bottle started to exist. Because then that person created its own set of problems, created their own set of issues that they now have to deal with. And now you wrap into a level, unto a level, unto a level. But it's all still you. It's who you chose to be. You can be anybody who you want to be. And you can create new personalities for who you are, for who you want to become, out of the problems that you have for yourself. But just that same, you can create a confident person, a kind person that you can be. You can be that same motherfucker that picked up the bottle. But just because you picked up that bottle don't mean you can't be nobody better. Because the end of Keisha's story is being able to find, permanent housing, being able to find a way outside of constantly drinking and smoking, and finally being able to understand the problems that they had and come to terms with the person that they became in that time and the person that they are now. You're new every single day. And if you think that who you were yesterday is somehow going to save who you are today, it's not going to happen. You are the only one that's going to save you from what you have as your fears, as your problems, as your greatest misunderstandings. Your heartbreak, your issue, as long as you run away from it or run towards something like this, will only get bigger. And until you realize that the greatest thing that you can do is sit down, be comfortable with it, and ask yourself, okay, what am I here to learn? What do I need to know? What am I here to gain from this experience? You'll always find yourself in situations where you look back and you're like, damn, I regret being that person then. Because if I wasn't that person then, I would be able to be who I really wanted to be now. But now I gotta work harder. That's what I'm doing right now. That's why I'm making this right now, because I ain't even want to make this. It's a story as old as time itself. I didn't want to make this. I came home, worked. I was like, all right, I just spent 10 hours on the clock. This is not something I want to do, but I gotta do it. I have to. Because if I don't, who I am today, right, future me is going to be like, man, I wish I was that guy. I wish I was him. Not only that, if I can get at least one person, if I can help at least one person, then guess what? You know what? I did my job. You know what? Future me is going to be happy. If he's the only person I help, then I did my job. If you the only person I help, then I did my job. Or if somebody you know, man, share it. Give it out to somebody else that you know that might need some kind of information like this. And don't get me wrong, this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. No, I'm just playing. I got ideas, and not all of them are terrible. Not all of them are terrible. Some of them are better than this. Some of them are worse than this. But I think this is a pretty good place to start. Let me know.